Well, hello there, superheroes. It's been a few days, so I thought I'd better share something with you to keep up the rhythm that we are. If you're seeing these videos, you're getting them quite regularly. Well, what would I like to share with you today? Well, firstly, do you like the background? I love how the picture, it could be either the humanity's going to the sun or the coming out of the sun. So a little bit of a cheer towards the solar race. The consciousness is often represented as a sun as well. So a cheer towards consciousness and us evolving. Either the consciousness is coming down onto Earth, or we're evolving our consciousness to meet the great consciousness, our day star, the sun itself. If you do anything to do with the moon or planets, since we're talking about suns and stuff like that, well, last night for me was a full moon. And so if you were able to see the full moon, it was very bright and very clear. And of course, for a lot of people around the world, a full moon can also mean heightened energies and stuff. Maybe you're sensitive to that and maybe you're not. For me, it's a way to see the greatness in our universe. I had the beautiful opportunity of just sitting outside for a little bit last night as the sun went down, as the moon came up, seeing the stars, the planets that were out. And I had this moment of just realizing how lucky we are to be living on a planet that holds our life, to have the sun that brings us the ability for our food to grow and our planet to have all the wonderful things here. And for us to see the beauty and the magic in many situations. And to be able to just take a moment to just see the vastness of our planet, to see the vastness of our cosmos, to connect to that bigness and that beauty that's so much greater than us. And it reminds me, of course, about our own unique spiritual evolution, our own journey of realizing day after day our divine dance in all of this, and to not put it outside of ourselves as some time in the future when something changes, then I'm going to perhaps experience more of God or connect more to the universe or live more my higher self and my true path. Why put that into the future? We need to change the mindset that what we're experiencing right now isn't good enough. We need to find a way in daily life to keep coming back to this moment and realizing what is right now is absolutely and supremely perfect. And that lacks nothing. That when we think about stuff, we recognize the lack and we can dwell on that and wish for something different. And to really see that contrast between something mentally wrong and creating the ideas and then the stress around that, the emotion and the energy around that. Yet on the other hand, to actually recognize in this moment that everything is divinely placed and unfolding in its divine perfection, not in our mental idea of what's right or wrong. What that gives to us is a greater picture, a bigness, a hugeness, a vastness of just how our lives are intertwined, and this tapestry is beautifully and magically unfolding in its perfect state. And that if we can just rest back into that, if we allow ourselves to just be present to that, we become the witness of this glory of our lives. It's so easy to pick up ideas, any ideas of right or wrong. It's so easy to add to that fuel, to that fire. And I'm not saying don't have a heart or a passion. I'm not saying don't have a passion to stand up for what you believe in, because there's a lot of that happening at the moment. I'm not saying don't do that. But look at where your energy is. Look at where your focus is. Look at what your foundation is. And I feel very blessed that my foundation, I always come back to peace. I always check in with myself to see where my compass is lined up to. Where is my spiritual truth? Where is my moral compass? And it's not even that moral word could make us feel that something's right and something's wrong, and I don't believe in that, and that's wrong, that kind of stuff. I'm talking more about every moment of every day for me to make that the greatest day on earth, the greatest day of my life. And it could be just by sitting still and reading a book, or looking out the window at the view, or doing my project, or even cleaning. I always laugh at that one because you know, in the past I was like cleaning, oh my gosh, but I've cleaned so much in these last months, it's unbelievable, and it's such a joy to do it, because I look for what brings me satisfaction. I look for what brings me contentment. And of course, the inward experience of contentment is primary, always. But to actually potter around in my house and put things back in their place gives us a sense of contentment. Or to go outside and do a project gives us a sense of contentment. So there's always this movement, as well as this ability to rest inward and experience this eternal peace and this eternal contentment, which is greater than things, right? So both are playing out in harmony. So we can actually use our things that we're going towards and our desires throughout our day, our little jobs and projects, to feel that inner contentment and then rest into that. Allow that not to be fleeting. Allow that to become more and more permanent and stable in ourselves. So then what happens is we just start to fill up our day naturally with joy. And it's not because of the cleaning, of course. It's not because of the projects I'm doing. It's not because of, I don't know, the gardening, the home, the job, the company. That's all the life gifts on top of the internal experience of contentment, which comes first and primary. It's really nice to see how that actually is more important than anything else, and perhaps your entire life is your own contentment, your own experience of happiness. And for that not to be important, or for that to be pushed aside in whatever we're doing or whatever we're thinking about, if we really start to look at what we're choosing for, if we're choosing for being right or being righteous, or to hold on to something and to be heard. I mean, on one hand, hey, great, you're learning, you're evolving, but ultimately, no, you're giving up your peace. You're giving up your happiness for that righteousness. You're actually choosing that idea and concept is way more important and appealing than your experience of peace. I'm fueled by this anger and it motivates me. Well, that's great. Awesome. But is that who you want to be? Is that who is the divine aspect of yourself? Is that your desire to shine the truth and the love and the light to each other? And for me, that can't be my answer. That can't be my truth. The way I shine as a human, the way I shine as somebody who can offer something to bring happiness to someone else's day, is through my experience of contentment. Is through my choosing for contentment over my opinion of being right. For me not to spend 16 hours a day fretting and worried, and then sit in front of the camera, for you, for 20 minutes or 10 minutes and pretend that I'm happy. That's not congruency for me. That's not living my truth. It's not living my greatness. So hopefully, God knows where I'm going in this chat today, but there's a huge difference in ourselves when we know that we're being authentic to our true nature. And if we have dreams and desires, be authentic to that too. And what that's doing is creating a stability within ourselves of what is true and right to us, our own truth, our own responsibility of owning that truth, our freedom. Like, what does that word freedom even mean? It's not going to be everyone on the planet happily holding hands and dancing and hugging. That is not going to be a realistic idea of freedom. I don't think so anyway. But in this moment, again, that would project into the future that something else is coming and then my freedom happens, right? It's a wonderful mind trap then. It's like my idea of freedom is some time else, and definitely not now, because now isn't right. And as we've moved through this year, this amazing year of 2020, and all the gifts that we've been granted and given to us, wonderful gifts for our spiritual growth and our recognition of our truth and our desire to live in this moment and to live with contentment and happiness. Oh my gosh, we've been showing it constantly, where you can get pulled out into something and make that problem important, or make it a problem, rather than being shown back, or taking that opportunity to be shown back to who am I and who am I being in this moment, you know? And what energy or what emotion am I choosing for and creating and holding on to and being righteous about, right? It brings the finger back to me constantly, as it does for you. I like to own my journey, though. I'm not telling you what your journey should be. So hopefully I own what I'm talking about as my realizations and my growth, rather than you should, because I hopefully don't want to be that person. And where I'm going with all this is that I've heard in conversations people saying, you know, when it gets back to normal, when we get back to, you know, the year 2019, and it's like, well, no, that's the mind. What's wrong with right now? What's wrong with what I've been given? Where's the gifts in right now? And if I take that on, if we embrace that, then life turns up the magic. Like that little dial, it just suddenly turns it up, and the magic's being shown to us, and the earthly situations have now got this beautiful rhythm and gift to us. And so the universe isn't forgetting us and being mean to humanity. And this year, it's like, you can see it that way, but I choose to see it as, oh my goodness, look where I'm being shown, where I hold on to ideas, or where we're projected into the future, or this is about me and I'm making it about something else. And it's how we embrace that and how we let go into that we actually experience contentment. And right there is the spiritual evolution. Right there is growth. Everybody on this planet is being given the opportunity to let go and rest in peace. Let go and make contentment more important. Let go and live happiness and shine happiness with each other. I don't think I've ever known a time where it's been so global before. And I've often wished for it. I've often wished for humanity to wake up or become more conscious, or when are we all going to get it? And where is the universe and the God and the lessons, and how can people not see it? And it's like, oh my gosh, it's almost like collectively and consciously, it's like, guys, come on. This is a wonderful moment for you to make that discovery of who you are, and to rest into you and not be drawn off into the masses, but rest into your truth, discover your peace and happiness, and shine that light. And let those words come from that foundation and from your truth. You know, then I can purely and truly say that I'm turning up for life 100% and really playing my part. Now, and perhaps that's what a higher self is. It's not outside of myself or trying to connect in. Maybe not. But I'd like to think that my divine self or my higher self means that it's because of my connection with the universe now, not soon, or when I die, or when I evolve spiritually. All of that's time, right? And all of that is the belief is what I'm experiencing right now isn't right or ripe or enough. And that can't be my truth. My truth is very much about experiencing this moment and really resting here and recognizing the magic now, the glory now, and living that now. now. How many more times can I say that? But it's my truth. And the invitation always stands for all of us to play with that, because we're so conditioned to time. We're so conditioned to beliefs which hold us into an idea, and an idea means that there's something missing, and we have to move outside of that idea into something changing to transcend that. And I'm sure as we're all evolving, there is all of that happening. There is growth and transcending, which means, you know, if you looked at a timeline, there's growth, there's a chart, right? So time exists. But the greatest truth for you to live in your happiness now is to let go of time. Let go of it. Allow yourself to rest into timelessness and recognize that when you do that, you're not addicted to the mind. You're not addicted to thinking. The ideas and the intensity of opinions loosens. So what is your choice? What are you choosing for? For me, it's always to connect with the universe, to realize the greatness of now and the beauty that I am in that. And that is as it unfolds now, with no separation between me and that greatness. So if there's no separation, that greatness is me. And then all those great truths from the Bible, from conscious books, from great teachings and great teachers, all of that starts to make sense. That that God is love, that that life is now. I'm trying to think of a quote. Closer than your next breath. You know, the universal freedom is closer than your next breath. Like, what does that even mean? Because I'm breathing all the time. Yes, because it's now. Oh, it's so beautiful. And I just wish for everybody to use this time, which is very unique and odd for all of us, right? To use this time for our greatness, for our goodness, for the revealing of truth within ourselves, to dive into inner peace and love and find happiness within. Make that the foundation today, and let now take us onwards through today, tomorrow, you know, into that timeline. But that eternalness of now stretches into your life. And there's a very big difference between even just hearing about it from me and living it. And so do what you can do to live it. Use the tools that you have to remind you and to keep coming back to now every moment of your day. Whenever you realize you're getting caught up in, I don't know, stress or anxiety or stuff, allow now to fill you up. And just let go of that crazy mind filled with so many strong opinions. And let those opinions be there, but not be you. Let you be peace. Let you be the presence now. And let that be the place that you take your footstep from out into the beauty of your day or whatever's happening around you. I always leave these little talks with a little exercise. And so I'm like, what should our exercise be today? What would help us all remind us that now is where your peace is? Sometimes even just writing it down, you know, like little sticky notes. I remember when I started meditating a long time ago. Gosh, almost 20 years ago, or maybe it is over 20 years ago. Yep, over 20 years ago. I heard about teachers talking about the eternalness of peace and the addiction to the mind, and to change that, to be willing to change that. And I started off by putting little sticky notes around on my computer, or writing something on my hand, or up on the mirror in the bathroom. And for me, I probably wrote the word now, because that's often the word that comes up over and over again, right? So the little exercise for today is, why don't you do that? Why don't you just leave little reminders everywhere, and like little sticky notes, and just see how many times you notice those notes, and then notice where your attention is, right? So it's like a little invitation to be present, to be aware, to catch yourself and go, oh, what am I thinking about right now? And make the choice to stop thinking it. To then just, what you do is you get the little sticky note and you go, oh yeah, there's my reminder. Now, how do I get out of this? Because I'm really, really upset right now, for instance, you know, whatever. Just really focus on being present. Now, what does that mean? You could even just look at something, just really allow something to take your attention, like all of your attention. Really just look, not at your phone, because that moves fast, right? And usually creates us to move fast in our mind. But really take time to connect to a flower or a tree. How about that? Your garden or something inside your house, like a plant, something that you can just look at and just allow that energy to move and your attention to just move into this moment, right? And you'll see, hopefully, if you keep practicing it, or if you already do meditate, you'll see where whatever you were caught up in, and then you saw your reminder, that if you allow all of your attention to come to this plant or a color, what you're doing is you're taking your attention from what you had been thinking about and changing your focus onto something new now. Okay? And as simple as that, you're starting to see what happens in your mind and what you get caught up in and where your attention is completely in the thinking and in that stuff. And then when you just move your attention to something, then that's changing your focal point. And that might really help to just start seeing your relationship to your mind, and also seeing your relationship to letting go of the mind, making the choice for presence, for now, and just seeing what that does for you. What does that give you? How does that help you emotionally? How does that help you in yourself? So for the next few days, just stare at a plant and see what happens. No, it's a reminder, you still live your life, you go through it, but to really see where our attention is, right? So I hope that all makes sense. I hope that's inspiring. Very nice just to share. I just love sharing. And I think too, it's just nice to be reminded, just to have the reminders. Okay, superheroes, I love our superhero club. Until next time, just keep playing. Just keep playing and let's see where this goes. Okay? Love to you all.